Hello everyone and welcome to the Dragon Code. In this video we are going to look at conditions. So let's start. In this lesson we are going to look at conditional statements if, else, and switch, and operators that are used for conditions, relational operators, logical operators, and ternary operators. Let's start with relational operators. Relational operators are used to compare values directly and values inside variables. So you cannot just compare values, you can also compare variables. First operator is equal operator, and it consists of two equal signs, unlike assignment operator, which consists of one equal sign. You can compare values of all primitive data types. Important thing to know that result of expressions with relational operator is Boolean value, true or false. So if you write expression 5 is greater than 10, result is false. Let's now test those relational operators in C++. I can print result of expressions with relational operators. For that, I just need to put expression in brackets. 5 is greater than 10. Let's see result of this expression. It is 0, so it means it is false. 5 is less than 10. It is true. 5 is equal to 5. It is true. 5 is not equal to 5. It is false. And 5 is not equal to 7. It is true. Greater than or equal and less than or equal operators combines two single relational operators, and the result will be true if any of those relations are true. So 5 is less than or equal than 7. It is true because 5 is less than 7. But if I put this 5, it is also true because 5 is equal to 5. Let's try with greater than or equal operator. 5 is equal to 5. It is true. And 5 is greater than 3. It is also true. You can also assign Boolean variables with expressions with relational operators. If expression is true, true value will be assigned to the variable, and if it's false, false value will be assigned to the Boolean variable. Let's print this Boolean variable. The value of Boolean variable is true, and let's change this. 5 is not less than 3, so in this case it will be false. Let's move now on conditional statements. First statement that I'm going to cover is if statement. That statement takes condition and executes code inside curly brackets if that condition is true. So you need this if keyword to put condition inside brackets, and to put code that will be executed if condition is true inside curly brackets. Let's test this in C++. So I need if keyword and then I need some condition. For example, I will check is 5 greater than 3, and if it's true, I will print it is true. Let's run this code. As you can see, this code inside curly brackets is printed, executed because condition inside brackets is true. Let's try with something that is not true. For example, 5 is greater than 10. It's not true, and let's see what will happen. As you can see, this code inside curly brackets is ignored because statement is not true. But what actually you have to put in these brackets? You don't have to put expressions with relational operators. You actually have to pass Boolean value here, true or false. I can pass Boolean value directly, and if it's true, this code will be executed, and if it's false, this code will be ignored. So you can pass Boolean variable inside brackets directly with variable and with expressions with relational operators. In all cases, the Boolean value is passed. Let's try with variable is true, and we need to put that variable in brackets, and if it's true, code inside curly brackets is printed, and if value of variable is false, code is not printed. When you pass expression with relational operators, the result of that expression is Boolean value, true or false. You would probably never pass Boolean values as conditions directly. This is because in that case you don't check anything. You would usually use user's input as condition. For example, you can ask user to guess number between 0 and 10, and if he guessed that number, you will return message you guessed the right number. Let's now write that program. So in the first variable I will put that number, for example 7. And second variable is variable that we will store user input. I will name that variable guess number. Now I need to ask user to guess number. 0 and 10. Now I need to request user's input, and then if number is equal to guess number, I will print you guess the right number. I also need to modify it a little bit, and let's now run this code. So guess number between 0 and 10, if it's right number, you guess the right number. You guess. And if I guess the wrong number, for example 4, nothing will be executed. But how will I print message that user guess wrong number in case he guess the wrong number? For for that I would use else conditional statement which comes after if. For that I need to use else keyword and curly brackets. And now I will print message in case user guess wrong number. So if this statement is true, this code will be executed. And if this statement is not true, this statement will be executed. It's also important to know that if statement can be alone, but else statement can't be, because else statement is used in case the if statement is not true. So if there is no if statement, there cannot be else statement. If I try to run code with only else statement, I'll get error. Let's write another program that will ask user for his age and it will print is he adult or minor. For that I need age variable. I need to ask user for age. I need to ask user for input. And then if age is equal or less than 17, we will print you are a minor. And if you are not, if your age is 18 or greater, you are adult. An adult. Let's now run this code. So if my age is 17 or less, I'm a minor. And if your age is 18 or greater, you are an adult. There's also else if statement in C++. It allows you to have multiple if statements. If first if statement is not true, program will then look at the another if statement. I can modify this program by adding else if statements. I will first check if age is less than or equal to 55. In that case, program will print you are young. If this condition is not true, then I will continue to check another conditions. I will add else if, and then I will check if age is less than or equal to 55. In that case, program will print you are a middle-aged man or woman. If this condition is also not true, I will add another condition. Else if age is less than or equal to 120. In that case, program will print you are an old man or woman. And if none of these conditions are true, then I'll just add else statement, and in that case, you are not a human. So the program will first check the first condition. If it's true, it will execute this code and it will exit this block of code. If it's not true, it will continue to check another conditions. And if none of these conditions are true, then it will execute code in else statement. Let's run this code. If I enter age 45, I get message you are a middle-aged man or woman. So program first check this condition, it's not true, then it continues to check other conditions. Because this condition is true, it executes this code and stop checking another conditions. Let's run this code again. If age is, for example, 147, you are not a human because none of these conditions are true. And the last conditional statement is switch statement. Switch statement is used when you have multiple if statements. It is very useful in that case because it is much easier to write switch statement than multiple else if statements. But you can only check exact values with switch statement, and it is done with equal operator. You cannot check if value is greater or less than certain value. Let's now write a program that will ask user to enter number which will represent day of the week. If user enter 3, for example, the program will print Wednesday, and we will do that with switch statement. Let's first delete this code. For that I need integer value day. I then need as user for input. Then request input. Day. And let's now write switch statement. To write switch statement, you need to write switch keyword and you need to put variable inside brackets. And now you write code for each cases. In case day is 1, I will print Monday and I need break keyword which will exit switch statement. Let's do it for all cases. So in case day is 2, program will print Tuesday. In case it is 3, it will print Wednesday. In case it is 4, it will print Thursday. If it's 5, Friday. 6, Saturday. And 7, Sunday. I don't need this. And default will be executed if none of these cases is true. You can just leave it default, but you can also print something. I will print wrong number. Let's run this code. So if I enter, for example, 10, I enter the wrong number. And if I enter the right number, for example, 5, it is Friday. Let's move now on logical operators. In this table, you can see logical operators. And or logical operators are used to combine conditions and to produce Boolean value true or false. And not operator is used to reverse Boolean value. And operator will return true only if both conditions are true, and or operator will return true if any of two conditions are true or both of them are true. Let's try this in C++. I will write simple program that will check if condition is true and print is it true. So if condition is true, I will print it is true, and if it's not, I will print it is false. Let's first explore AND operator. So if both conditions are false, value is false. If one of condition is true and the other is false, value is again false. And if both conditions are true, value is true. Let's now explore OR operator. So, if both conditions are false, value will be false. But if one of conditions is true, the value will be true. And if both conditions are true, value will be again true. And the last logical operator is not. Let's explore it. Just reverses value, Boolean value. So if I apply it on true, it will be false. And if I apply it on false, it will be true. Five is greater than 10. It is false, but with not operator, it is true. It is true. You can use and or logical operators when you need to check multiple conditions. For example, I wrote program in this video which allows user to enter his age. And I only checked if age is greater than 120. I didn't check if age is less than 0. Let's now write a program that will print user's age if age is valid, and it will print you are not a human if age is invalid. For that, I need integer variable age. I need to ask user to enter his age. I need to request user's input. And then, if age is less than 0 or it is greater than 220, print you are not a human. In other case, you will print user's age. Let's run this code. If age is valid, it prints your age. If age is greater than 120, you are not a human. And if your age is negative, you are also not a human. In this case, I use OR operator and not AND operator because number can not be both negative and greater than 120. But in both cases, years are not valid. And the last thing I'm going to cover in this video is ternary operator. Ternary operator allows you to write if-else statements in a shorter way. I'm going to write a ternary operator. Ternary operator consists of three parts: condition, return value if condition is true, and return value if condition is false. Let's comment this code. Okay, first is condition. 5 is greater than 3. Then with question mark, you separate return value when condition is true. And let's write it is true. And then you separate return value when condition is false with colon. I also need to put all this in brackets. And let's now run this code. So it is true. Let's change it to be false. And now it is false. Let's now write this if-else statement with ternary operator. I will uncomment this code, but I will only comment if-else statement because we will use ternary operator. Cout if age is less than 0 or age is greater than 120. Question mark, you are not a human. And if it's not true, you are a human. Let's now run this code. If age is valid, you are a human. And if age is not valid, you are not a human. This is all for this video. If you like this video and want more videos like this, press like button and subscribe, and see you next time.